Hey, it's Jenny. Welcome to my attic office, my home business office, where I'm going to dive into some strategies and ideas, motivation, mindset, whatever that will help you scale and grow your home business at home, whether it's in an attic office, a porch office, a back deck office, a yard office. I don't know, but it's just you. It's just me. And we're learning some cool stuff, some mindset shifts, tools. So I have a question for you as we dive in today. Have you ever wondered why certain ads and posts or emails make you stop and pay attention? You should, because these are powerful tools. These social media platforms, even if we don't like to be on them or we don't like what's in our feed, we can fix that. It's really powerful to be able to use the eyes that you get out there to put on your products and your stuff that you have for sale or stuff that you have that will help people. And hopefully what you have for sale will help people even more, right? So let's talk about this because it's kind of important that you notice these things. It's one of the first lessons that I learned, one of the first exercises that my marketing mentor gave me when I took one of her classes. It was to scroll these feeds, especially your favorite one. Why is it your favorite? What brought you there? Because these are all the same thoughts that are going through your audience's heads that you can tap into, because the goal of your marketing is to speak into what the people are already thinking and saying in their heads, because it catches their eye. They're already thinking it. And, oh, what's that? I was just thinking I need to lose some weight because I want to look hot when I go to the empty nesters ball or whatever. And then I see an ad for it. Hello. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? So think about those things. Look at your feed in a different way. Instead of scrolling to consume, scroll to notice, observe, and take notes. You know what? You could just skip the rest of the video because that's the thing right there. Notice, scroll, take notes, and then you'll have a notebook eventually of what all of your people could possibly be thinking. Because a lot of times in our home business niches, our audience is actually ourselves. So we kind of know them intimately. And when you notice what triggers you, it's probably going to trigger your person too. The person that will subscribe to your emails, watch your videos, read your posts, and buy your stuff. Because as they get to know and like and trust you through all of those things, they'll buy your stuff. So before I drop more of this, when I look at my outline here and see what else I wrote down to talk to you about, if any of this strikes home and you need to implement any of it, just get my list of home business apps, just drop apps. And then not only will you get my free ebook, but you'll be on my list where I can invite you to more premium type trainings and stuff like that. So, plus I share all the stuff I use, like products I use. Anyway, that's the whole point. Drop apps. So let's talk about all the ways that you can have fun and take in all of the media that you already use, because your person will be using the same ones. So first, of course, there's TV ads. Now, if you're streaming something on Netflix, you don't see a lot of ads, but occasionally, right? Especially if you're streaming something live. But what if you're watching your favorite sports team? those ads grab some attention, don't they? Or if you pick up your latest newsletter about something, sometimes there's ads in there that will catch your eye. So I'll just use examples of what has caught my eye. For example, there are TV ads about, actually, this one isn't a TV ad that I'm thinking of. It's a newsletter. But anyway, I don't care. It's very creative. Duluth Trading. It always catches my eye because of the way they entertain you at the same time as selling you their stuff. The way they name their clothes, they tell you what to wear them for, like wear them while you're going for a cozy stroll on a cool fall day, stuff like that. And you just know that the clothes are going to be soft and comfortable and warm while you're holding your cup of coffee or hot chocolate. So stuff like that, right? Those catch my eyes. And I do see those ads when I'm scrolling social media. TV ads that caught my eyes, let's say during Super Bowl commercials, for example, or sometimes those Doritos commercials or the Cheetos ones or the Budweiser ones with the beautiful horses. At least that's what they used to be. They always caught my eye because they were so, they would draw you in with emotion, right? And things that we care about as Americans. And if you're not American, you can watch those commercials and you still get the same feel from them. I mean, those horses are beautiful. So what makes you stop and watch them? Something that drew you in, right? Some headline. Maybe it was just an image of those beautiful mountains or the field with the mountains in the background. That always drew me in because it's so gorgeous and I love the outdoors. So, okay, there you go. There's a bunch of reasons why it drew me in, if that makes sense. So while you're enjoying your football games or your baseball games or whatever it is that you watch on live TV, pay attention to what catches your attention, if any of them do. If they don't, then your person might not get caught up in any of the commercials. Occasionally there's a good one though. So there's that. What makes you stop and watch during the commercial breaks rather than going to get up and get a snack or something? So we already talked a little bit about social media and learn about the engaging content that you scroll past. I'll tell you what, I notice you can customize your feed a little bit. And if you get into your feed, like mine is now, right now, it's not captivating my attention because a lot of people, there's one that always writes like one line, and then I know that there's going to be a huge paragraph if I click more, and I just don't feel like reading it. It didn't catch me because it didn't bring me into any conversation in my own head or any conversation that I'm interested in, if that makes sense. So there's those. Some people really love the long posts, especially if it draws them in. If they're long and what draws you in is hook after hook after hook, right? Hooks are those things that catch your eye. So if you do find a post that you actually read through that's long, for example, take it apart. Copy it into a document, print it out, whatever. Take it apart and look at the spots that drew you in to read the whole thing. And then learn from that to write your own. You can also, I like cheating and using AI every once in a while, but you can also plug them into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT help you come up with your own. Don't use it word for word. Again, I warn you every time, don't use it word for word because of... sorry, I got distracted. My daughter is calling me. But I'll finish talking to you first. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so we did the long post, right? So also as you're scrolling, and since I'm talking about Facebook, there's going to be certain reels that catch your eye. There's going to be certain pictures that catch your eye. Why? What makes you stop and click those pictures or read the captions? Use the same things in your own content because your whole goal, by the way, is to get more engagement, which means more comments and more people commenting, liking, and sharing, or better yet, checking your profile out and downloading your freebie, whatever it is. Mine happens to be a cheat sheet for prompting AI. If you want that, it's AI, drop AI, and I'll get it to you. So, same thing with TikTok, right? Scroll through TikTok. TikTok will draw you in. It's a interest-based algorithm, so once you tell it what you like, it's going to draw you in. So don't get distracted and don't get drawn into the scroll hole. It's easy to do. Believe me, the first time I had the app, I was like in there for a couple hours. And I was like, how did a couple hours go by? I mean, that's crazy, right? I thought it was crazy. I'm like, okay, so let's focus here. I had to bring back my own, stay in control. Don't go down that hole. Maybe set yourself a timer. 10 minutes. That's good. 10 minutes is plenty. Scroll through and see what catches your eye. Or if you're still training your feed and it's not giving you what you want, you might want to search for some things that you do like to watch, like funny cat videos or entertaining farmers, or I don't know, whatever it is that you like. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Anything you can think of. I mean, search for it, you'll find people who made TikToks about it. And then you can start figuring out what drew you in and what made you stay and watch for the whole 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or 3 minutes if you stayed for that long. If it's a live and you stayed for an hour, what made you stay on that live for an hour? That's when I got to work on. I don't know how to keep people on for a long time. So figure that out. Take notes. Again, take notes on what drew you in, why you stayed, and what was going through your head that drew you in. What caught your eye, what words triggered your interest, those kinds of things. What feelings kept you involved? Okay, then the next little section I want to talk about is emails. Okay, if you look in your inbox, in which emails are the ones that you open? Whose emails do you open consistently and why? Now, I will tell you right away that it's important that your people get to know who you are, because the very most important thing in your email box, when you look yourself, you'll see what I mean, is who it's from. It's always who it's from. But if they don't know you yet, the second part that's super important is the subject line. Does it spark some interest to make them want to open the email and read it? And then once they're reading it, do you keep them drawn into the story or whatever it is that you're doing? Is your story aimed at something that they want to know? Like my last email was about some discomfort. I'm going to call it, I can't call it pain. I can't call it that because it's not supposed to, it's a plant remedy that I was talking about, so we can't say that, but it helps with discomfort. And it kind of worked really well, surprisingly well in my husband's eyes, for example. So I had to tell that story a little bit about how everything evolved, like the day that I fell and my neck is still a little bit stiff weeks later. It's getting a lot better, but the discomfort is eased by this plant capsule that I took. And so I was telling the story, right? Told the story about falling, how I felt, how I cried because it hurt. So yeah, anyway, that's just an example. There's lots of examples out there of ways that you can write your emails. So if you need help with that, get on my list and I'll be sure to share with you ways that you can work with me and I can help you. So once you do that, by the way, in emails, not only taking notes, but sometimes I'll save emails that are particularly that I really liked. I'll save them and I call it my swipe file. I call it my stuff I want to keep file, whatever. I do have a swipe file too, but in a swipe file, in marketing terms, just so you know, is a file that you keep for ideas. You don't copy the email word for word. It's not your words. The more authentic you can be using your own words, the more you'll stand out in this marketplace. So, lots of gold there. So keep your My People journal, and in your My People journal, you want to keep all kinds of notes so that you can truly understand your audience. Observe, learn, notate it when you're learning, and then apply it to your copy and see what happens. Copy is what you're writing, what you're saying in your videos, what you're writing in your emails, what you're writing on your posts. So, I'll conclude it with this. What made you stop and engage with an ad, a post, an email, a video, all those things? What emotional triggers were used? What kinds of things triggered emotions in you that made you want to watch the videos, click the ads, or click the posts? What pictures stood out? What headlines stood out too? Write all that kind of stuff down. My People is the name of your journal. Keep track of it. Learn what your people would be interested in. And the biggest hint, in conclusion, is because it's a home business, most likely it's a product you're using. It's a product that you fell in love with, right? And you fell in love with it for a reason. You know what those triggers are intimately. So just learn how to use the language of those people. I don't think I can help myself. I didn't want to share all the goods, but can't help myself. Go into the Facebook groups, find the Reddits, Amazon reviews, 1 and 5 star. Look for the words they're using because they will write your copy for you. I just kind of learned that. It popped into my realm of reality today as I was listening to an OG marketer, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is brilliant to have your prospects and your possible people in these groups who are already talking about, complaining about, or spouting about whatever issues they're having. They're already giving you the words to use to describe how you can help them. I hope that helps. So make it a great day. Remember that you can use all media, TV, socials, videos, emails, mailers in the mail, direct mail, right? Use all of those things, the things that catch your eyes. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's worth repeating. Take notes and start using them. Drop back by and leave me a comment, or better yet, drop apps or AI for one of those freebies I mentioned in this video, get on my list, and then hit reply. I'd like to know how any of this worked for you. Okay, I'm pausing because I gotta start my next little topic. And boy, my video is kind of blurry now that I'm looking at myself. Wonder if I should fix that. Well, I'm not going to do it in the middle of this live. Okay, let's go to... Hey, it's Jenny in my beautiful attic office, my home office. And I'm in my home office because I'm a home business owner, and so are you if you're listening to this or watching this. And you need to learn some of the skills, some of the motivation, some of the mindset stuff that I've learned over the years and that I'm still learning, that I'm sharing with you on these videos. So let's skip to this topic. And my question to start it off is, have you ever been to a group or an event, and let's say it's a marketing group or event, where you kind of felt out of place? I have, and I want to share what you can learn from those things. There's so much to gain from going outside of your particular niche. So what I'm talking about in my realm is some serious marketers and serious marketing groups. back in the day when I was doing a lot of networking, I still need to. Everybody needs to. You should be meeting new people every day. And I'm saying that as much to you as to myself. So, but anyway, I joined some of these marketing groups. It was by accident. And I just, you know what? It probably wasn't an accident. You know this, right? You know, things are placed in front of you because they're things that you probably need. And you wouldn't have noticed them otherwise. That's a little woo-woo-y. But I feel like it's true because when you look back, I mean, this is totally off topic, but when you look back over your life, weren't there times when things were put in front of you or people were put in your space that provided something that you needed? And you didn't even realize it until later. And then you're like, whoa. I mean, it just kind of blows you away, right? Anyway, let's get back to topic. I joined some of these marketing groups and I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, this is like not my wheelhouse. I have no idea what they're talking about, but I was fascinated. Here's the thing. As you get to know these people, they are just normal people too. They've just been doing this longer than you and they know a lot about the psychology and marketing. And speaking of marketing psychology, you're going to want to be in one of our special masterminds. We meet once a month. It's $10 a month. You get way more. I mean, I used to pay $25 a month and I thought that was super cheap. So if you want to be in that mastermind or any of the other masterminds that I can get you into, either just join my list by downloading my ebook that lists all the apps I use, or by commenting apps, my AI cheat sheet by commenting AI. I'll also get you my free AI course, or comment that you want to be on my list. I don't care. Once you're in there, I'll invite you to these what did I say? Masterminds. Masterminds are important. Anyway, so let me tell you a story as I move on into this topic. I'm looking at my outline because I just read this sentence and it brought back a memory. Walking into a group of seasoned marketers can feel intimidating, especially when you're used to operating in your own crowd, in your own niche, right? So here's the thing. I had a boss that sent me to a marketing event because he knew I was kind of fascinated with marketing. But these marketers were business owners. I mean, like, you know, brick and mortar business owners. So when I went to the little powwow to have snacks and drinks and meet some people, I really kind of felt out of place because I was like one of the only ones. I'm sure I couldn't have been the only one, but I wasn't a brick and mortar business owner. I was just an employee of that business, right? So it was very interesting. But what I found out is I knew more than some of those people that I felt so intimidated by. And the same might happen to you. There are things that you know more than anybody else in the room. So walk into the room. That was my biggest lesson. Walk into the room like you belong there, because you do. You wouldn't be there otherwise. So it doesn't matter if you're walking into a room full of high stakes business owners or some kind of vacuum cleaner convention. Who knows? It doesn't matter. When you walk into these places, you belong there because you were invited and you went there. And then there's a reason. If we go back to the woo-woo-y stuff, right? There's a reason why you're there. Me, I had to learn that lesson, right? That's why I was there. So just recently, I took a course with an OG digital marketer, and I got to like be on a Zoom with all of these bigwig marketers and learn with them and talk about all these cool things. And I could have been intimidated this time, but no, I was totally enjoying myself being a part of the conversation, even though I doubt any of those people are in the home business niche. They are people who sell like their own health products and their own print products and books and coaching, and there were life coaches in there, of course, because I find life coaches everywhere. It's so interesting. Anyway, I guess the whole point of this particular episode is that you can learn a ton just by stepping outside of your niche and into a different crowd. So don't stay inside your bubble, because your bubble is really small. But if you get outside in other bubbles, you can bring some of those ideas back, and that will give you a fresh new insight into what you are working on. I hope that makes sense. Drop apps or AI for whichever freebie you want to get on my list so that I can invite you to all the things that I hang out at and to all the ways that you can work with me. And I can help you because I'm always learning these things. You could call me your concierge or whatever it's called that goes out and learns things and brings them back to you. So you might even find a new circle where you can learn stuff. All right, that concludes that. The coolest thing, the most important thing to remember is to step outside of your bubble, go into some other environments, learn some things, and then use those things in your marketing and in your niche and teach some of this stuff to your people. Okay, let's see here. Oh, this is a serious topic. Okay, I'm going to do my intro again, and then we're going to dive into this very serious topic. I don't know if I can be serious, but we'll try. Hey, welcome to my home business office, my attic office, my home office, where I run my home business. And you run your home business somewhere just as cool, right? Doesn't matter. It could be your kitchen table. Gene Schwartz did his copy at his kitchen table, I think, if that's what I'm thinking of. I can picture it in my head. I remember listening to the audio. Anyway, doesn't matter. Maybe it wasn't him. I don't remember. In this episode, we're going to talk about some serious topics. And it came up because I had some conversations with relatives of mine and then other friends of mine that I realized they are putting themselves out there as prime targets, and I don't want you to be a target. So this is a little bit serious. I talk about these with DS Tech all the time, but I'm going to talk about this with you personally today. So whether you're a pro or you're just starting out, I got something for you that might be helpful. So let's dive into this a little bit. A lot of home business moms, empty nesters, whoever you are, most of my moms are my age, so they are probably close to empty nesting. I have a few young people out there that might be listening. Most home business moms overlook online safety and the importance of taking it seriously. So I want to talk about some steps that I've taken that you can take. And then also I'm going to tell you I do have a free course that you can take. Just type the word safe, because you want everything to be safe, in the comments, and I'll tell you how to get the free mini course. And the mini course will go into a lot more detail. So what I discovered is that some of my friends don't even know what MFA is. And I understand MFA is an acronym, and techie people like myself use acronyms all the time, but I found out we're not the only ones. My son uses MTB, and I didn't know what that was. DH, and I didn't know what that one was, because he loves mountain bike downhill racing. So those are acronyms too. So I'm just going to say, not only tech geeks use acronyms. And there's me not being serious. I told you I wouldn't be serious. Anyway, but this is a serious topic. So MFA is multi-factor authentication. Okay. And when I realized that my friends didn't know what this was, I'm like, oh boy, they could so easily be hacked. It's super easy for some of these hackers to figure out passwords. And
your password might be your first line of defense, like the little latch on your door. But if they get through that, is there another line of defense? That's what the MFA is. So MFA is like sending a text message to yourself. The best ways, which I talk about with an expert on a different show. If you want to watch that show, that's fine. That's mostly for, bigger business owners. However, you can learn from them. Drop, what should I have you drop for that? Just ask me. I'll point you over there. Where's those videos, Ginny? I'll point you over there where we talk about it every week. Every week we talk about all the things that you can do to protect your business. So, what was I saying? Oh, the multi-factor authentication part. The best way to do that is to use an authentication app like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator. I think the third one I have on my phone is Authpoint. There's other ones out there. So and Duo is a super secure one. That's a Cisco authenticator for businesses. So us home business users wouldn't have access to that, but we do have access to Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator. Those ones are easily downloaded. Then what you do is when you set up that multi-factor authentication under your security settings in whatever program it is, in your email, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I got hacked once. I'm telling you, you got to have it set up. So, I think I don't have the steps right in front of me. You can just Google it or search YouTube and somebody will have a step-by-step video on setting up your authenticator in any app. If you want a step-by-step and you want me to just walk you through it and help you set it all up, just get on my list by downloading one of my free stuff, like the free cybersecurity course, the free, course I was talking about. Type SAFE and I'll get that to you and you'll be on my list and you'll find all the ways to work with me where I'll spend an hour with you, helping you set up all this stuff or helping you clean up your passwords, whatever it is. Okay. So that's one of the mistakes, is not enabling MFA, multi-factor authentication. Sometimes people call it dual factor. Doesn't matter, but in your security settings, you can set it all up. The next mistake that a lot of people make is, and I've made it before too, is saving your passwords in your browser. The problem with that is that your browsers can be easily hacked and then they have your whole password list if it's in there. So you'll want to use a password keeper. I use something called Keeper, which is exactly what the businesses use at the place I work. So if you want that, it's in my apps for home business. Just type apps and I'll get you that list. You can find it in there. Or if you just want me to send you the coupon to get, some 40% off, then just drop that you want Keeper. What did I say? Because that was a password keeper. And the reason why you want to use password keeper is so that you have a place where you can use unique passwords. Every password on every account should be different. It shouldn't be anything like your kids' names. It shouldn't be password. It shouldn't be admin. It shouldn't be anything that is easily figured out. It shouldn't be any numbers that are your like birth dates, your addresses, your hometown, your high school mascot. None of that. None of that, because social engineering can figure that out. And they have a lot of information on us by now. I'm just saying. And speaking of them having a lot of information, I'm going to tell you, and please pass this on, please freeze your accounts. Just freeze your credit. They have your social security numbers, and I don't want identity theft to be one of those things that happens to you either. It's easy to put a freeze on all 3 of the accounts. If you want help with that, again, get on my list. There'll be ways. Every email I send, practically, I'll tell you ways to work with me. It's TransUnion, Equifax, and I should have written them down, but I wasn't planning on talking about this. It just popped into my head. what is the third one? TransUnion, Equifax, and if you look it up, if you just type in Credit Karma and Credit Freeze, you'll find their blog article, which will tell you step by step, all three of them, to go into, put a credit freeze on. Then when you want to get a loan or whatever, you just unfreeze them for temporarily while you get your loan, and then you freeze them back. Just do it. It's the best way to keep your identity safe so that nobody's using your credit. And I've had so many stories. Okay, so we talked about MFA. We talked about avoiding using easy passwords that have your kids' names and birthdays in them. And lastly, probably super important also, even though I want you to click the links in my emails, I'm a trusted source. Even though I want you to click my links in the email, don't click any links. Just don't tap them on your phone. If you get, let's say you ordered an Amazon package and you get a text saying, track your package. It might be just a coincidence. It might not be real. I just telling you can't trust it. So go open your Amazon, log into your Amazon account separately on a computer or on the app in your phone, whatever. Look for your order and track it that way. Don't click the link on anything. And always be cautious and trust no one. Just don't trust. You don't know where it's coming from. Sometimes the spam in your email looks legit. Sometimes the websites. I talk about all of this in the free cyber home business, cybersecurity course, the free one, the mini course that I just told you about. Drop Safe. I'll get it to you. And those tips will help. The tips I just told you about will help. So use good passwords. Don't click links. Use a password keeper. Use multi-factor authentication. Stay safe out there. I want you to be safe. Get on my list. Lots of ways I can help you besides that.